our 3 second.
Namaskar, and we are sitting in the morning after our Sattology Gala Dinner 2022. और हम लोग अभी retrospect करेंगे because we have 3 Pride of Americans sitting with me, and the 4th is I don't want to say what I am. So we'll discuss the review and what we learned and what we can do better next year, and so we'll be very real. So yeah, this is the another perspective we'll get. So I'll start with on my left, Sharad.
So I think it was a good session, second annual session on July 22nd in San Diego, California. What we have announced is we will tie this session with a festival like Janmashtami, and the reason and the logic behind was koi bhi event has to be tied with something, either a religious thing, birthday or Independence Day, because then the theme could be built, right? So what are we trying to sell? We are trying to sell, Sattology is trying to sell a cultural value of Sanatan, and Janmashtami se badhiya aur kya ho sakta hai. So that was one. There was a good participation of the people. I thought normally in these type of literary fest, people are distracted because you're talking pure knowledge, right? Scriptures of different interpretation. But the attention was awesome. Attention span for 3 years, 3 hours with food in front of you was something which was little very encouraging to us. I think we can definitely do much better. Thoda organization mein, that's what I felt. There could be more interactive session because panel discussion बहुत fast हो गया, मुझे ऐसा लगा. It is a feedback. Then what I feel is there are 2 aspects I discussed with Nilesh Ji also on the getting people on the YouTube. हम लोग काफी if you are in the hall like you're on the ground zero, and ground zero पे managing the back office, which to me was a YouTube पे people. I thought it was a little distraction, but it is needed for the sales promotional because they are a big name. But I think if we only focus on the room, and then room should be the center for displaying every discussion outside, it could probably add the experience 20-30% time better more. This is my personal view.
On things that went well, I would say the venue was good, the way it was organized, and a lot of effort went into it. The fact that there were few additional people part of Sattology team who were there is very important. In fact, this is combining even the point for improvement in the sense what can be done better. I know it's always challenging to get more people, but not a bad idea to even have 2 more heads, so that for example like aap dono you remain free and you don't have to also worry कि कैसा चल रहा है. The coordinator, the compere, क्या उनका नाम? Sonali did a phenomenal job, even keeping people on time and all that. The what you said about external speakers, and yes, it bit of a distraction, but again, as you said, I agree with that from a broader perspective it is required. It is also a good thing, it's a chance, and with the modern technology, and we have to do it, but it can become a distraction, especially for people in the audience to engage with the same intensity with those people versus the local, right? Because you feel it's like you're watching a film in some ways, like you can't interact. As I said, location, the venue, the speakers, the attendance, that was good. And for the audience, I would say I was thoroughly impressed. Because like when I'm sitting on the podium and even on the audience, you can see are they sort of there just as a part of social? Absolutely not. They were paying attention. Yep. And I will even say, I mean, to be truly like sharing the truth, I would have a tough time paying attention that long and so on. And so they did a very fabulous job. In terms of like what can be done better, very small things actually. So actually I think even if we can repeat this with more people, it's a perfect thing. I mean, no change, that's fine. It's like a gala thing, the Utsav, the part of Utsav. We are Utsav Priya, so that's good. One thing is, as you said, the timing. And people have some idea, But it is a good idea to say this session now we are starting at say 8:10. We will go for 30 minutes. It really helps people that yeah, अच्छा ये 30 minutes में end होने वाला है, and actually we mean it, like we stop it, something like this, whether short or long. Overall, I would say great event. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
First of all, congratulations to you for doing the second event, which by I did not know this, that the first event was very small. This turned out to be many times bigger, which is congratulations. So this means that, to take Nileshji's word, that means there is a significant audience interest in the subject matter. That's a big takeaway for me. And I was very excited to see the audience participation and attention they paid to get to know things. And so that was very big positive. Yeah, technical improvements and all these things, we all know what needs to be done next. But in terms of just the structure part of it, if you are going to invite people on the video part of it, I feel that don't show them the audience there. That distracts. And then the speaker knows that these people are walking, those who are walking are not listening to me. So it is disheartening for the speaker's point of view. It's rather not him see anything but interact with you in a Q&A fashion. And it's again, as technology savvy guys and organizationally savvy guys, the sound system from their perspective had to be good. Because the sound system was solid and loud, then we could tell others, please keep quiet. But that was our missing out. Yeah, but I'm very excited. The two things which are very critical was their audience interest, absolutely, and that's very good. What I also wanted to suggest, like we were talking before this recording, that you write books and you do research and you bring forth the historical element of time, historicity of time, of Ramayana, Mahabharata. And then you need people like me who create the relevance for it today. That's very important too. It's like a football team. Not everybody will be a quarterback. And not everybody will be a striker. But you need all kinds of people to make something successful. So if we are able to create a contemporary relevance, because 90% of the time people don't have the time to read the books. And we Indians have a very bizarre thing in our mind. हम सब जानते हैं. I don't need to be taught. अब शरद जी कुछ कह रहे हैं तो who knows it is true or false, right? Somebody can say something against him. But if you create a relevance of that, it has an immediate impact on others. I got to do this. So I'll give you an example. This is my favorite example. It happened 2 weeks ago on my Jaipur Dialogue show, talking about Indian culture and ethos. Touching feet is a very important cultural element, emotional element in our way of life. We touch feet of our parents and elders. But to explain that to the American, that's something which we all have to collectively do, is to how to convey the message of our process. So touching feet, if you just tell them respect, humility and all that, they will say, yeah, I can be humble without touching feet, right? I gave a twist to that. And I said, even my son today at 35, 36 years of age, at the airport, whether he's traveling international or domestic, he touches my feet if I go to drop him. Because he understood the concept in the contemporary times. And that concept is, he bows to me because I know I have his back.
Beautiful.
Now the Americans understand this term, I have your back. So when I told the American friends of mine, the reason why we touch the feet of our elders, particularly parents, not everybody, elders and gurus, is because they have your back. They're responsible. That makes so much sense. That's the point which I'm trying to do, that we have to create that sense of belonging so that all these young people understand. I didn't get the chance. If we had gone on the yoga and other things panel, if I had brought in, I would have said some of the real important relevance of these education in contemporary life. That's important. So that was a great show. I'm sure we are going to do better and better as the time goes by. And so, nothing is perfect. Next year we will again debrief and we will see what else could we have done. But it's a continuous effort. and we will continue to do that. It's a good show. Congratulations for that.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to add here. We are Sanatan Dharma, means constant improvement. Sanatan improvement means you cannot live, like I said after the show yesterday, I forgot the last show, but now I'm reminded that what we have to improve in the next time. And also, Sattology is not about selling anything. Sattology is a term to just debunk mythology, and everybody should use it after proper training, because we need to know what we need to tag as mythology. And also, so it's a general term for everyone. We are not selling anything, we are promoting the reading of Shastra. Yes, Shastra Vidhi Mutsujya Vartate Kamakarata. The oneness with Shastra Vidhan Uttam Karma Kartum Yar Asi. So we have to know from the Shastra Karya Vyavasthito, Akarya and Akarya. So the focus is purely that we need to bring back the original thought, because our original thought of Hindus or people, the largest group of followers of Sanatana Dharma, has been killed by various propagandas, by governments, and governments have really worked against us. All the governments after independence of India has worked against us. Before independence of India, Mughals and the Christians definitely worked against us. So, but after the independence also people have worked. Now it's the citizens' work. We are ordinary American citizens, all of us are American citizens here. It is our work that in USA, we at least in USA, because it's a small population, and we have at least in USA, we bring back the focus on the original Shastra in the American mainstream. Because the thing is, it's difficult to change India, and I'm admitting it here, difficult to change India because of it's the inertia. It's not that we cannot change. Change means just 1 minute. But in USA it's relatively easier because it's a smaller population, and if we do not create Shrestha, let's say we have 3 Shrestha here. Yadyada acharati Shrestha tatta devetarujana. We don't have leadership in USA. The problem is that leadership is not somebody who got a political ticket. Leadership is something. Leaders are created by Bhagavad Gita, leaders are created by Mahabharata, leaders are created by Ramayana. Unless people learn from there, Anushasan Parva, so many Parvas are there, you cannot be called a complete leader. And at least in the USA we can make a beginning, that we create good leadership. And with that mode, we'll do the next year's show, like Sharadji already said, that in the next year we're going to do on Janmashtami Lit Fest, Sattology Lit Fest, where we're going to invite American authors, Indian American authors who have written the new history. Indian government may not promote you, but we will promote you here. And we'll make sure that once it goes national, we'll start traveling with the Lit Fest more and more and educate people. What do you have to say? Anything? You have to add anything, Nilesh?
Yeah, I'll just add to your last point.
Surabhi is back, so if we can honor Surabhi.
Yeah, Devi Surabhi is in the background there.
Listening.
What I'll add to your last point is like inviting for a lit fest. JJ Acharati Sreshta, and also anything. So in that same context, anything that is Sreshta and in tune in the frequency with the Dharma civilization, that can be from anywhere around the world. Okay, it may not even necessarily have
Native,
a stamp, something like this, and to bring them, to give them that platform, and in that sense make it a unique. That's what I think is
Talking about Sattology and the truth part of it, I think there is one more discussion needs to be had with relevance to the fact what we know now.
Yeah.
What we know now based on science and technology, which is the biggest ally of Sanatana Dharma. Debunking religion itself.
That's right.
It's very important for us to know. I mean, I have no problem you worshipping X, Y, Z or ABC, no problem at all. My thing is that why don't we also debunk that religion as practiced is the cause for the greatest human divide. We need to bring that contemporary conversation also in our... So like Nilesh mentioned about Purva Paksha. It's very important to do and to use in the modern language what I define it as knowing the nature of the beast. Surabhi is the nature of the beast. I'm guaranteed she will not hurt me. right? Nature of the beast is what? If you understand the nature of the beast, maregi. If you threaten her, she will. That's what I'm saying. हाँ, तो खेल में तो हम भी आप एक दूसरे से मारामारी करेंगे.
Don't you do this, you know?
So the point which of the matter which I am trying to say is here is that it's very important for us to recognize that we are all humans. I did this in one of my conversations. I asked people how many are Christians, how many are Muslims, how many are Jews, how many are Hindus, how many are Kaists, how many are Brahmins. Each time some hands will go up, right? And then I stumped the entire audience by saying, how many of us are human beings?
Yeah.
All hands went up.
There you go.
So if we are all human beings, our blood is red, our teeth is white, we all die when the myocardial infarction. So, and we all go down on our knees to pray. What's the differentiating factor? So we have to contemporize the conversation, because religion is the cause of biggest divide. I say it in my profile. God created life and life-sustaining forces, and then some smart aleck created religious divide. And religion has a base in fear and ignorance. So today we know thunder and lightning doesn't happen because gods are angry. Today we know that men are responsible for gender determination of a child. We have to convey that universal element of the Sanatan principles, that we are all the same.
Yeah.
Nobody is leaving Hinduism because they are pissed off with our gods. But there are people who are becoming atheists, leaving Christianity. There are people who are leaving Islam, becoming ex-Muslims. You don't see the concept of ex-Hindus.
That's right. You cannot leave Sanatan.
That's a great point.
Thank you. So we have to bring that. We should try to do that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll add quickly and then Sharad ji ko gelenge, because that the point that you just said of the universalism. उपनिषद में जो कथा है तैत्तिरीय उपनिषद में जो भृगु वारुणी विद्या, quickly point उसके कि भृगु goes to his father and a guru, Varuna, and says कि पिताजी मुझे बताइए what is Brahma, the ultimate reality. And Varun, the father and also guru, in his great wisdom, which is also required for Hindu but every human being, he doesn't give a ready-made answer, because the person will not understand even if you give answer. He says go do tapasya. So he goes to forest, goes to a place, does tapasya, comes back with realization, annam brahmeti vejanat. Then he says, now that's what I understood, now father, guru, tell me what it is. And he says go do tapasya. And this game gets played as a loop. The point is, next time when Bhrigu comes back with his own realization and talks to his father, tells his father, he says, Annam Brahmeti Vejanat, then Prano Brahmeti Vejanat, Mano Brahmeti Vejanat, Vijnana Brahmeti Vejanat, Ananda Brahmeti Vejanat. The point I want to bring it to what you just said. We have played this game Anna Brahmeti Vejanat, possibly the Prano Brahmeti Vejanat. Mano Brahmeti Vejanat is kind of the game played right now. It's the emotion. Yeah. It's a mind's emotion. But as you said, the technology and science are our great friends. If we have to use that, then we have to go beyond our pure emotions, Mano Brahmeti Vejanat. We have to go to the next one, which is Vijnana Brahmeti Vejanat. And we have to go there. And that's where we start seeing the blood is the same and how we go together and so on.
Okay. I think good point, Vibhuti ji. In fact, yesterday debate में मैंने भी यही बोला कि Sanatan is a universal. When I mentioned about what we take from the nature, we are told to give back the same amount to the nature. Then I also said men are born equals. That's what America taught us here in American context. And if you see our scriptures, I have a Pakistani fan who keeps on discussing with me on this. So he was a little bit worried about India mein aajkal is Muslim ke against here. He was also asking that question, whether it's innocence or whatever, but he asked me that question, and he's from the minority part of Pakistan. So I told him, देखो हमारे scriptures में again to make it simple, we don't have villain like any Christian or Muslim or Abrahamic, right? We talk about asuras could be our pravitti. So we never say कि हमारा villain ये है. हम लोग शुरू से ही बहुत universal approach रहे. हमारा scriptures इतना पुराना है तो हम तुमको hate ही नहीं कर सकते हैं, because तुम हमारे scriptures में हो ही नहीं as a villain or hero. तो I was just trying to explain him in his context, because उनके यहाँ तो clearly है कि भाई you are here. So we are anyway, and we have our scripture is universal in approach. That has to be told. Relevance की आपने बात किया कि we are doing the hard work, but उसको लेके कौन जाएगा ground पे, which you want to take it, or people like. So yesterday event, in that context, the question of the lady, how she can teach her kids the Ramayana and Mahabharata. Then there were few students who were asking me on us all those questions. So from event perspective, I think we were very much successful in that. Because कल जो भी लोग 70-80 लोग जो भी आए, they are our team now, as Aditya was mentioning, and they are our ambassadors. So story did go to them. Maybe हम लोग और अच्छा से next time करेंगे, where like the Sonali was playing the role of managing the whole show. I would think Aditya should also be sharing that stage. He should be freed from the technical, like sound recordist, ये वो. He should be, and that day, even though he is ex-tempo, but an event is an event where his focus should be on the whole event. And lastly, about the people joining the YouTube, I think that's a good idea, but let's do recorded rather than making it live. We need those, we still need those people. वो चलते रहेगा, लेकिन it's recorded so that we give due respect to them also, because last time you and me, we were on that side, and we remember कि क्या चल रहा है. At least I was knowing कि क्या चल रहा है, and so it was a great show, guys, and next year it will be much bigger.
One last point which I wanted to make here was, one lady towards the end asked me, and she said that your first panel was, you guys talked about very important things, and they were very relevant for us. But we wanted more. We wanted more. We wanted more of it, considering that you were 5 people on this podium. Other panels were only 3 people. So as a result of which, they said that, try to bring this element to the attention of the organizers, that it could have been more intensely involved, because this issue was really very powerful. That's what I just wanted to feedback. Thank you.
See, we'll take that feedback now and we'll make it including the next year. Sometimes what happens, less is more. Sometimes less is more, because if we say everything, then it's not a very international, very engaging conversation. Some things have to be left in the open, which I feel. See, the thing is, we will do much better next year. We'll take this feedback also. We will also make it a whole day event also, or half day event at least, so that people who are coming from far, they can enjoy San Diego at least for one night and one whole day in a good place. But one of the things is that this event taught us something, and also we gave an option to the people that at least this one of a kind panel based Hindu event, which is very religious in nature, at the same time bring the modernity of the Hindu community of America in front. So here for the first time we are seeing, and Sattology is a religious corporation, we all know, non-profit, that here we are bringing the regular people speaking like a grahastha. Not there, none of us are temple priest now I can say about myself, but we are sharing a same thought, which is unlike any other community in the world. So you can be a married person, but you can be a highly spiritual person in Hindu culture, and that showed brilliantly yesterday. That the entire, and we were 100 crossed, we crossed 100 yesterday, and the thing is, next year what we need to bring is the same, like people like all of us here, plus more, sharing different aspects, because Sanatan Dharma is like has a multifaceted aspect. Whichever way you look at, you get impressed. And I want the Americans. Richard Gordon yesterday was so impressed, and he is a devout Catholic. He's a devout Catholic. He is a law enforcement guy, and he said, my heart is moved. That's what he came to me and told me. And you and I do not know that we discuss anything which can move hearts, right?
We don't hear that.
Speaking your mind.
You speak your mind, But
And heart.
but the neutral person is getting something else. So sometimes, our Paramatma communicates. You and I don't communicate. Our mouths speak what the Paramatma has to share with the audience. So our goal will be that more people who are connected with spiritual nature should connect with us next time and join us in a big way for the next dinner, Sattology Gala dinner for next year on Janmashtami, the first Friday after Janmashtami.
Which would be the month approximately?
We will see August approximately. So first Friday after Janmashtami, where we will have a Janmashtami Mela, and we will celebrate with Surbhi right here behind sitting with us. Thank you all, and thank you. Namaste.